Welcome to the Metal Detecting Podcast, brought to you by XP Metal Detectors. We're digging the plugs and pinpointing the topics you want to hear. Now here's your hosts, Dave Kimball and Grant Hansen.
This show is brought to you by XP Metal Detectors. XP Metal Detectors is a high-end, innovative metal detector company with high-end metal detectors, coils, and pinpointers. For more information, go to xpmetalDetectors.com. For a dealer near you, try a Google search or go to xpteamusagrant.com. Hello and welcome to the Metal Detecting Podcast. I'm your host, Dave Kimball, coming to you from Central Oklahoma, and I am joined today by my co-host, Grant Hansen, coming to you from New Jersey. How you doing, Grant?
I am doing well. How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing pretty good. It's getting a little cold over here.
A little cold here, too. It's going to be in the 20s this weekend, but I'm going to still try to get out. Been doing well recently, so I'm going to try to keep working it as much as I can.
Oh, yeah. So how long will it take before your ground starts to freeze and you can't dig?
You know, it really depends. It could be as early as January, or it could be February, or it might not be at all. It really depends how cold and how long it stays cold. So even when it's frozen, though, sometimes we get out there and just chop through it all.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. See, our ground never freezes over here. So you just got to get out there and fight the cold wind, icy wind. I'm not a cold person at all. I hate cold weather.
I do too, but I just got a new pair of battery-powered heated gloves. So I'm anxious to try them. They're supposed to last for about 5 hours, and I have those the Ready Hot things that I put in my feet, and those always work great. So I try to stay as toasty as I can.
Well, you should do a video on the gloves there and kind of give everybody your insight on it.
Yeah, I was planning on doing that actually, because they're nice and they feel great. So now it's just a matter of, do they work, right? So we'll see about that. But yeah, that's definitely going to be an upcoming video.
Yeah, right. And speaking of videos, you got some new videos out, and so do some of our other team members.
Yeah, so I just put one out this week. I've been having a habit lately of finding some really great stuff that I don't know until I get home. And one of those was this beautiful sterling silver monogrammed napkin ring. So, I just put a video up on that. So hopefully people will enjoy that. And I know XP Team USA has got some new videos out there as well.
Oh, yeah. So did you find any information about that? I mean, the years or...
I did, yeah. So it's I would say it's Victorian because the manufacturer who it was made from was from the late 1800s. So I would say anywhere from late 1800s to early 1900s, because it had the maker's mark on there that came through pretty clearly rather. So. Yeah, I was excited to see that. It's crazy. Had I known it was silver, I would have never thrown it in my tumbler, but it came out beautifully. So I can't really complain.
Oh, yeah. All right. Was it all just pretty rusty looking, or was it stained, or what, or muddy?
It looked like brass or copper encrusted. You know how that gets when it's sitting in, so it didn't even look like I could scrape the dirt off, which is why I just paid no attention to it. So I was shocked.
It must have been there for a while. Huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So we also have the 12 Days of Christmas. We talked about that last show, but now it is actually in effect. And I know you just gave away a coil, and congratulations to the winner of that. Who was the winner of that?
Yeah, Paul Rausch. He won the 9-inch X35 elliptical coil.
Nice.
So we had over about 250 entrants total for that contest. So it was a great win for him.
And also, he also has another chance to win a brand new dais. Is that right?
Yeah. So I just want to remind everybody that anytime they enter one of our contests, which come out every other day, so on odd days, we announce a new contest, and then the next day, the even day, we announce a winner. So even if you enter and don't win, your name gets carried over for that grand prize. And the more you enter, so if you play all the contests, you'll have more chances of winning than just entering one contest.
Yeah, right. And I know Sonia is doing a contest too, and this is pre-recorded, but on Friday when this airs, the winner of Sonia's contest will be announced. I'm not sure if it has already or if it will be right after this podcast, but
yeah, and her contest is kind of cool. She's asking people to make a holiday display out of their metal detecting finds. So a lot of the entries have been really creative. It's been fun to watch.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. So as Grant said, keep an eye out on it on our Facebook page and enter the contest and get a chance to win a brand new dais by is it Christmas Eve? Is that when it gets announced?
I think it's Christmas Day, actually.
Is it Christmas Day?
To announce the winner, yeah. So that'll be a great present for somebody.
All right.
So, but if you're looking for a present for somebody, definitely check out xpteamusastore.com. We've got some great clothing, hats, and things like that on there. And so I would order soon if you want it in time.
All right, yeah, and they're always coming up with something creative too to put on there too. And I know he was talking about making a little pouch for your headphones and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's really nice stuff, and there's really good quality. So I'm probably going to stop over the store myself and see what I can use.
Yeah, they got good shirts, good hoodies, good jackets, good hats, whatever you want. Also, we had a contest a couple shows ago. Nobody claimed it last show, so we carried it over to this show and allowed people to keep entering, and now we're going to announce the winner right after we talk with our guest.
Yeah, we welcome the Minnesota Beach Boys tonight, so we'll be right back with them.
All right.
Hey guys, RC here with XP Team USA. If you want to sit back, relax, and just watch some fun and entertaining detecting videos, head on over to YouTube and search for my channel, RC's Dirt Therapy. I promise it will be worth a subscribe.
We all know if you want to find good treasure, you've got to do research. HistoricAerials.com is one of the premier places to do that research. They've got the world's largest collection of United States historic aerial photos. You can compare pictures from year to year and see how topography and structures have changed over the decades. It's like having your own personal time machine. Make sure you're swinging your coil in the right places. HistoricAerials.com is free to use, but they also have subscriptions with awesome tools to help you track down treasure. Check out HistoricAerials.com. It's a real find.
We'd like to welcome back to the show a couple of guys who find gold and silver like many of us find pull tabs and foil, affectionately known as the Minnesota Beach Boys. Let's welcome back Jim Kochevar and Allan Carpenter. How y'all doing?
Pretty good. Good, guys.
Yes, welcome to the show, and we're excited to speak with you again tonight and hear all about your summer adventures. But first, what's the conditions like out there? Your season's kind of over right now, right?
Oh, yeah. Late October, probably, it was over.
Are the lakes iced over, and is it just freezing, or you can't even get in there if you wanted to?
If you had a big chainsaw, you could probably cut a few holes, jump into, but that's about it.
Yeah, froze over and the ground's froze, ground's covered with snow.
Is this the time of the year y'all break out the ice skates?
Well, it's the time of the year I sit inside and work on other things.
I'd fall on my ass on ice skates.
Time to start cleaning them fines. Huh?
Yeah,
oh, definitely.
Organize them. Got the snowshoes for later in the winter.
So over the summer, you both teamed up with treasure hunting legend Terry Shannon, who we had on the show recently. How was it detecting the rivers with him?
Go ahead,
I
Jim.
think it was a blast. I had a wonderful time, and Terry's a great guy to just visit with to begin with, not alone detect with.
Super funny guy, too, to detect with, boy. He's got jokes steady all day long to keep you going.
So did you guys teach him anything, or was he the one teaching you guys a thing or two?
Well, when he came to our spot, there was no tripping and falling over in the current because we were just in lake water. There was no falling over rocks. It was pure sand. So he liked that.
Yeah,
A lot easier on the older fellas, to walk around like that. So
I don't know. He gave us a pretty good run for our money in the river current, I tell you.
That's right. That's right.
He knows his stuff there.
Oh, yeah. He's used
me
to
and
that
Jim
ocean.
did this one little last stretch. When we were almost done there, me and Jim did this last stretch going up to the falls. And, oh, my God, your legs were so beat by the time you got up there. That current was so strong pushing you back that you couldn't even keep the coil in the water.
I wanted to get out and walk up the bank the rest of the way.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't because I'm the oldest one.
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah, the current, it reminds me of, I was on my honeymoon in Mexico, and my wife and I were doing like a lazy river kind of raft ride, and we had like snorkeling stuff that we rented, and we, if we didn't bring it back, we had to pay $20 or whatever. And I was trying to show my wife how the masks, of course, they float because they don't want you to lose it. So I threw it in, and it just sank 15 feet. So I was like, all right, well, let me go. I'll just dive down and get it. And I just couldn't, even though it was a lazy river, I just couldn't get back up to the mask because the current was so strong. So I can only imagine what you're feeling.
Oh yeah, it was something. I'll tell you, it was great to be able to do that. That was one of my bucket list things, was to go with Terry on the Otter Tail River.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why all the good finds are there, because it's so hard to get it.
Oh yeah, and it's constantly replenished. The day we were there, we must have had 100 or more tubers go by us, and they always had a little conversation with them too, so that added some more fun to the adventure.
Oh, yeah.
Are they always yelling out, "Oh, I lost a watch," or "I lost a ring"? Just people do that to me on the beach all the time.
They ask, what'd you find? And I always tell them a lot of bottle caps, and they're usually drinking beer, so they chuckle at that.
And if they're bugging me a lot, if they're hanging around me, I always say, yeah, that guy down there, that older guy, he's got all kinds of gold rings he found. And they heard him fly down there and start bugging Jim.
He did do that too.
Yep.
But he gave one guy a pair of sunglasses he found with only one lens in it and told him I had better ones. So he came to me bumming sunglasses, and I did have a couple better pairs for him.
And we do find a lot of masks in the water. I mean, lots. There's always masks laying around in the water. You see them laying down in there.
Oh, yeah.
But we all got gold out of the river that day.
Yeah.
Real good. We had a real good time. And then when he come to our lakes over here by us, Gary probably did better than anybody. He found a real big gold ring that day we were out there.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That was really awesome. We can't wait to go to Florida. We plan on going to Florida to go detect on them with them on Treasure Coast, and it's going to be fun.
That would be fantastic. That's a place I would love to go to sometime.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like a walking encyclopedia of the history of the 1715 fleet and that whole area down there on the Treasure Coast. He's amazing to listen to tell the stories.
So he's on a roll right now too, boy. He's been finding a lot of good stuff lately, working the shorelines,
Oh, yeah. Can you explain to us the modifications that you make to your dais to make it submergible? I know a lot of people has asked that a lot, and I know a lot of people get nervous too, submerging their dais. And let's hear your perspective. I know that you made a video on it, but we'd love to hear you walk us through it too.
Go ahead, Jim. I'll let him tell you. You can tell him.
Okay. Well, we did make a video, but one of the things that we've kind of evolved even since then in how we're doing things and making it easier for ourselves. Of course, we use the water kit for the dais, which consists of the waterproof bag. Make sure that's sealed good. One thing that we've changed up is we're just using plain earbuds or the cheap $5 over-the-head headphones. They seem to work a little easier to stay on instead of the kind that hang on your ears. What I've done is I got we used to wrap the antenna wire from the coil up around the shaft and then tape it in a few places. What I did is I got some zip tie type Velcro ties for tying computer cables together, about 1 inch wide and 3-4 inches long. And I just put them on my shaft in various places loose, and then I could just slip the wire under them straight up, and I got it wired real easy. I've got away from using a fishing rod to help hold the wire up and just tie it right to the back of the waterproof pouch that you got with the kit. And I use one of the simple viewing devices for holding a smartphone so you can watch movies on it. I just put the waterproof pouch on that with the dais inside, and I can see the numbers, and it doesn't get in my way very much, so that's cool. So that's my way of keeping it simple. I know water detecting, you dig most targets anyway, but I kind of like to have an idea of what I'm after. I don't know why. I just like to have an idea.
I'm with you on that. I know Gary Blackwell and I have had discussions because a lot of the programs he runs are two tones. It's either like good or not. And I'm like, no, I need more information. I'm going to dig it anyway, but I want a little bit more info.
You want to be happy.
I don't know why I'm like that.
And we started using a lot bigger coils this year. We started using the big coil, the X35s, and the 10-inch X35. We didn't use it too much. We used it a little bit in the rocky areas, but I'd say
I really like the X35 in the water. I kind of stuck with that all summer. I didn't trade off much.
What size?
The big one or the little one?
What size are you talking about?
I have the big one and the little one. So whatever the
11 by 13 and the 9-inch.
7 by 13 and a 9-inch.
Wow.
Is there a lot of drag on the bigger coil versus the smaller coil? Like, is it harder to push back and forth?
There's more, yeah.
Especially in the river.
Yeah, the river, it was a lot of work in the river.
Yeah, your arm's dead. But we found some new places to go this year. Our buddy took us up to this unknown beach that was back in the early 1900s, and we did really good up there this summer. We went back there a couple times. But how many rings did we end up pulling out of that little tiny spot, Jim?
It had to be 34 or 35.
34 or 35 rings. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
Allan got 14 in one day.
Yep, 14. I broke Jim's record from 12.
14 in one day is art.
In the same little spot and probably a 20-foot area, you know.
It was really weird. Allan found the place.
Rock piles that came out. It must have been like a rock dock back in the years ago, because that rocks just went all the way out, you know, to like 4 feet, anyway. And they must have piled them up for a dock back then or something, because all the rings were right at the end of the dock and around the rocks, you know. So it must have been like a rock dock.
You think maybe they jumped off the dock and that's when, like, into the water, and that's where the rings came off?
I'm sure. We found a lot of V-nickels. We found bar quarters there. I mean, a lot of jewelry.
Oh, wow.
And I got 6 right away, so it was crazy.
Yep,
one of the things that happened at that spot was there was quite a few tokens in there, too, for some reason. And I got a token that was the size of a Morgan dollar. When I looked at that in the scoop at first, I thought I almost had a heart attack. I thought I had a Morgan.
I almost had a heart attack. It sure looked like it, boy. But we did really good on rings this year. We had a good time detecting. Like I say, winter just came way too early for us, you know?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. But head down to Florida where it's warm.
I don't know how many rings Allan got, but I got 40 rings. 7 of them were gold and 19 were silver. So I had a pretty good percentage of precious metal mixed in the 40.
So what should someone know who wants to get into the water and detect for the first time? Like, what are the kinds of things they should know beforehand?
We like wearing wetsuits all summer long just because of swimmer's itch. And I wore a shorty wetsuit a couple of times, and each time I wore it this fall, I ended up with swimmer's itch each time I wore it. So we usually wear a long suit, a thin one in the hot summer, and then later in the fall we put on a 5mm. And we always have neoprene boots on, because you never know what you're going to step on, glass or nails or whatever out in the water. And then we invested in some new gloves this year for neoprene gloves to keep us a little warmer when it does get cold, or in the beginning of the season. But this year I tried something different. I put my waders on, my wetsuit on, and then I put my waders over it. So when we were just doing shallow water, I could still reach down in the water, and I didn't get that cold, because I had my wetsuit on. But my lower body was pure dry, so that worked out pretty good.
And what about like any safety hazards? Like, are there safety protocols that you take? Because the water can be dangerous.
Yeah, I tell Jim, if I ever do fall down and drown, I don't want CPR. Just let me go. He said the same. It's pretty safe out there if you can stay away from the otters and the minks and things like that.
I can give you a couple experiences that I had about safety.
Yeah.
If you're hearing me good.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Well, the swimmer's itch is real big. I'm one that's really allergic to it. And I got it so bad one time I had to go to the ER and get medical treatment for it. I was up all night. I had to go early in the morning. I couldn't even drive. I had to have my wife drive me to the ER. So protecting yourself from swimmer's itch is a good thing to be aware of. Another thing, sometimes, early on, not so much anymore, but early on in my water detecting times, I'd snorkel a little bit. And I got what they call giardia, if anybody knows what that is.
No, and I don't even know what swimmer's itch is, so if you can explain that.
Giardia is a stomach bug that, let's just say it's a good way to lose 15 pounds in a hurry.
Oh, boy.
So you get that from drinking the water, right?
Excuse me?
So you get that from drinking the water, right?
Yeah, but if you're snorkeling, you can get it in your mouth, and you get the bug. Sometimes they call it beaver fever. The swimmer's itch is actually no. So there's a couple things like that to be aware of, and of course, sharp objects in the water are good to wear. Like we wear good neoprene dive boots, or even I started wearing tennis shoes because I can't go barefooted anywhere. But as you learn these things, you make your mistakes and you advance. So there's a few things you could shortcut. Nobody has to relearn. I can't think of too many other things, but those are two bad things that happened. Oh, yeah, one more. I got a leech bite one time, too. That I got an infection in my foot and had to go to the ER for that one, too.
Oh, geez.
So,
see, y'all, now you're all making it sound terrible now.
And then he got bit or stung by a hornet one day. We were going out there, and he couldn't even metal detect it. He didn't even have a hand anymore. It looked like a big club.
So there's things that can happen, but keep in mind those 4 things probably happened over 500 outings. So that ain't too bad. Once every 100 times.
And I'd say most of our trips this year, we use a boat instead of just driving to the landing and stuff. We take boats to different landings and stuff with the boat.
Yeah.
And biggest thing is just trying to find a place to get dressed in the boat because there's so many other people around, But we just go out in the middle of the lake, get undressed, and get our wetsuit on and head towards shore then. But I bet 95% of our hunting this year with boats.
Yeah, a lot.
Islands and places that have been untouched,
Yeah, right. So y'all talked about your ring tallies a lot. I mean, I know y'all have a lot, gold and silver. Can you tell us about how many rings you think you got throughout the summer, and which one is ahead of the other?
I don't know. I don't have no rings. The wife's got them all now, so they're locked in her hands. So I don't get to keep nothing. But I got over 300 rings in the last 2 years. I got a few hundred rings. She's probably got saved up, and Jim's got more than that, I believe.
Yeah, I'm up around the 350 number.
Wow. Is that the retirement plan?
I wish it was all gold and silver, but I just count rings. I've got my total on gold, marked gold rings, because some of them aren't marked, but marked gold rings I've gotten 48.
You do find a lot of gold that isn't marked because it's really old,
Mm-hmm.
But
my silver count, I don't know, but that's probably got to be 100, 125 at least, maybe 150 silver rings.
But no, when we went over and seen the treasure hunter from Florida, Terry, it was unbelievable. I mean, we look like little peewees compared to what he's got. Unbelievable. I mean, he's got rings that are worth $30,000 a piece. Yep. I mean, some really high-end rings, boy.
Wow.
But a lot of them down there in Florida.
Makes you feel any better. I think my lifetime total on rings is 7. So. I'm not in the water.
Well, water is where the jewelry is, it's for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And, you think about it, a swimming beach is kind of a pretty concentrated area, too, Yeah. All the activity takes place within the bounds of it.
It's not like you're trying to cover acres and acres, except for some of our beaches that are super long. We got one that's probably, a half mile long, Jim, maybe halfway. And it goes out a couple 100 yards. So that's a big area, but that's when we really use the big coil to try to cover a lot of area,
Oh, wow, yeah.
But even even with the big coil, if you swing it too fast, sometimes you can miss things easy, you know. And we slowed down a little bit and dug some really deep targets this year with those that X35.
Yeah. So other than the rings, what are some of the cooler things you guys found over the summer?
Probably for me, pieces of copper, little pieces of copper, you know, that the Indians used to use.
Yeah, that's a bucket lister, I'm sure, for a lot of people. It's a few thousand years old.
Oh, yeah. Yep. My first barber quarter this year, too, in the water. I've never gotten a barber quarter, and I finally found one in the water, so I was happy with that.
I got a stone arrow point in my scoop. I happened to notice it when we were detecting with Terry when he was up visiting us, and that was kind of cool because the last time I had a stone arrowhead in my scoop, it was really a beautiful pumpkin-colored one, and I was so darn cold, and I had gloves on. I was trying to get it out of the scoop, and I dropped it back in the lake, and I must have looked for half an hour, and I couldn't find it. And I'll come over, he says, "Why are you digging in the same place a while?" And I told him, and then he looked around, and we couldn't scoop it up again. But this time I got to keep the one I found.
Yeah, that was a bugger. Someday we'll find it again.
Yeah.
The Indian gods didn't want him to take it, though.
Have you thought of going back to that spot or spots like that and just sift everything, you know, go back to that spot with a sifter and see if there's anything you can find?
Oh, yeah, we've been back to some of our spots, you know, probably a dozen times. Try different settings, try different coil on it. And of course, you know, I went to that one spot where I found copper, and we took Terry there, and he found this thing called Jingle. Is that what they called it, Jim?
Yeah, off a Jingle dress.
Yep, off the old, you know, which is thousands of years old. But we've got many, many hours in around those spots, you know, and especially where I found that 1821 sword scabbard. We go back there all the time, you know, looking for the sword.
Right.
But haven't found that yet.
Oh, yeah.
But we do mostly of all northern Minnesota, you know. Farthest south we probably go is Duluth area, you know, and then north. But we've hit lots and lots of lakes.
Oh, wow.
Lots of lakes.
I got my oldest class ring this past summer, 1929 class ring.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was an old leaf. What was that one?
And it looked like it was the day it was dropped. It looked brand new. The kid must have lost it right after he got it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Did you ever able to return any of the rings that you found this year?
Oh, definitely. We try to return all the class rings.
This year we haven't gotten any class rings returned, did we?
I think the only thing I returned was a wedding band twice over the water.
Oh, yeah.
From each other.
Same one.
My son-in-law lost his ring out on this monster beach, you know, it's a half-mile long. I found it right away, 15 minutes. Next weekend he calls me up, he said, "Al, I lost it again." So we were out there, and I bet in a half an hour, and I found it again. Did I, Jim?
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it.
Speaking of looking for rings, Allan, I just got an email that there's a lost ring in the Aiken area in a yard. Do you think we can find it yet this winter?
As long as they've frozen down in the ground. I'll give it a try.
I guess it depends on how long they dropped
winter.
it.
I think it was last winter around Christmas time, and I didn't find it. I waited till Easter, and I found that lady's expensive diamond ring.
Well, I remember last year y'all had a video of you finding that cell phone, didn't you, in the snow?
Yeah.
Yep, Jim found that in a 6-foot bank.
That was really a game saver for the lady that owns that resort because she had all her reservations, client list, vendor list, everything on it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all she wanted was a SIM card. She knew the phone would be shy, you know, but she got a
SIM
SIM card.
By that evening, she had a new phone and was up and running again. And needless to say, we were invited back whenever we wanted to detect her beach.
That's great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I bet we could fill the back end of a pickup with how many beer cans and garbage and nails and stuff we take out of the lakes every year.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we try to click. It just makes it easier the next time you go back, too, you know. You don't have so many targets to hit. So some of our beaches where you get in there, I mean, you couldn't even get a hit no more. But then we changed some settings, and some of the places just came right back to life. We started digging a lot deeper targets, you know. So that was kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
So we always go back to our old places on top of the new places we find, too, you know.
We'll be right back with Jim Kochevar and Allan Carpenter, the Minnesota Beach Boys. XP has introduced its new ORX machine, a high-end machine at a mid-range price. The ORX has 4 factory preset programs, 2 gold, 2 coins, also 2 user programs. The ORX comes with a high-frequency coil and is compatible with the X35 coils. The ORX is now available in the USA.
Hi, this is Dave D.
Hi, this is Sonia.
R.C. Dunn.
This is Allan. We're the Minnesota Beach Boys.
This is David Kimball.
This is Grant Hansen.
Lynn Quelland.
Cameron Macer.
Pete Surround.
And we are
XP Team USA.
You're listening to the Metal Detecting Podcast.
And we're back with the Minnesota Beach Boys.
I really like the factory deep program on the dais, and then tweak it a little bit.
I even used the hot program a lot this year. I mean, that worked pretty good. And we do use the gold one, too. That goes deep, but it's all the same tone, you know what I mean, on that gold one, you know, so.
Right.
Yeah,
but if you're digging everything, it's the way to go, you know, because it does go deep.
So do you add any flotation devices at all to your scoops or remote, or do you tie them off to you or anything like that for make sure you don't lose anything?
The remote I hang around my neck so that never falls off, you know. It might float in the water when I get up to nose deep water, you know, it floats a little bit, but that's okay. Scoops, Jim has a little flotation device on a small scoop. Our large scoops, it's a hollow tubed handle, so it floats already. So you don't lose that. The handle always floats up on it. But solid aluminum ones, though, they do sink.
So we got like I said, I learned that in Mexico.
Yep.
We got stainless steel scoops with carbon fiber handles, so they have an air chamber in the handle that keeps them upright all the time.
And I gotta say, those are the best handles you can get to, boy. For your whole scoop is so light, then you'll never break it. I mean, we pried in big rocks. You'll never break that handle.
Yeah, I've jumped on it.
Yep, super strong. It's worth the money to have one.
Yeah, you don't want the last thing you want is maybe not the last thing. You know, I'd maybe take a broken shovel handle over a hornet sting, but definitely you don't want to get out into the water and have your scoop break.
That happened to me down in Texas a couple of years ago. We were down there, and I broke 2 wooden oak handles in the ocean. 2 of them. And I just got sick of it, so I ordered one of those, the full, what are they called again, Jim?
Carbon fiber?
Carbon fiber handles, and it's lasted now for probably 4 or 5 years and no problem.
That's great.
Oh, yeah.
It's the way to go. Still like using the large scoops. Jim still uses a large scoop once in a while, you know, but he likes his little tiny scoop. He has a scoop that's probably 4 inches in diameter, if that. And he wouldn't believe how he digs with that. You got to be a good pinpointer underwater to use that thing, you know.
I've gotten around to using the big scoops a little more because a lot of the places we go are hunted out and we're going for deeper targets now, so you got to dig like crazy.
Otherwise, Jim's hollering, "Hell, come over here with your scoop." Dig this hole, and then I dig it out, and it's a freaking pop can.
Oh, yeah.
No.
As you can tell, we love to have a lot of fun. That's what it's about, though. You know, finding gold and coins and things are really cool, but having fun is what it's about.
Oh, yeah.
Especially on the sunny, warm days, you know. We went out this year in the snowstorm. We were having a blizzard. We went out. Dave has the clip of it. He's going to put a little video together on it, but that was quite the day.
Yeah.
It was a little chilly that day. I think we had like 6-8 inches of snow that day coming down, and we were out in the water. Water was warmer than the air, though, I tell you that.
Yeah.
You didn't want to get out.
Yeah.
But it froze up. We gave up.
What are there major differences between detecting in lakes versus the rivers?
Current and rocks. Some lakes got rock, but I'd say current.
Current is a big difference. And rivers, the other thing is you have a lot of unknowns as far as like pockets or, you know, where you could step in a hole or something like that, where a beach is usually pretty flat and gradual. Rivers got a lot of current pockets and things along. You can get into deeper water pretty quick with the current. You got to watch that too. You probably could get sucked into a deep hole.
And when you are detecting a river, it's so much easier to detect going downriver than it is up.
Yeah, that's the trick.
A lot easier. Yep, a lot easier.
Yeah. Does the quality of finds
work down?
Does the quality of finds seem to change between them two?
Say it again.
Does the quality
between
of finds,
a river and a lake?
Yeah. Do you find more rings versus like rivers and lakes, or it just seem like the same kind of finds you find in both places?
Pretty similar.
It's just that beaches are more condensed, you know. It's in a little area, you know. On a beach or a tubing beach, it can go for a long ways down, you know.
I found a lot more cell phones in the river.
Yeah.
And
vape pipes.
Vape pipes and sunglasses.
Yeah.
With all of the larger rocks in the rivers, can you guys still use your scoops, or do you have to use something else?
Well, we use our scoops, but sometimes you got to get down there with your hands and move the rocks, you know.
Yeah.
That are too big to pry out. But we mainly use the scoop. I've taken the pinpointer out in some places and tried to get in between the rocks, but I found it just easier just to move the rocks out of the way and then detect it. That little spot where we found all those rings this year in that one rock pile, we moved rocks out of there and found more stuff,
Yeah.
People dropped it down in the rock. We need to find more places like that where it's never been detected and where they used to be beaches and they're not beaches no more.
Mm-hmm.
So we got some other spots lined up already for next year, that's some old beaches to hit that's never been hit. So we're pretty excited for that.
That's great. So
my boat again.
With everything frozen over right now, what are your winter plans? Do you do hunting, maybe go ice fishing, research, maybe a road trip out to see Lenny Quelland? What are you guys going to be up to this winter?
Well, I just got done deer hunting for 3 weekends. That's all I did for straight 3 weekends was hunting. And now spearing's going to start here. So we can start spearing northerns over the dark house. We're doing that probably for the rest of the winter.
Can you explain what that is, spearing, for someone who lives in northern New Jersey and has no idea?
Well, it's a little shack, like a 4x6 shack that you put out on the ice. No windows. It's got to be completely dark, and you cut a hole, 4 foot by 2 foot in there. And you hang a minnow down there, and it's like looking into an aquarium. And then when it's pure black in there, it's like looking into an aquarium. It's clear as can be. And then when the northern comes up to take that minnow, you got a spear tied off on a rope, and you kind of just slowly put it in the water. When it's in the water, and you throw it a little bit at them and stick them and pull them up. It's fun.
Wow.
It's warmer than summer fishing because you're sweating your butt off in there. You got the fire going. It's probably 80 degrees in there,
Right.
Yeah, but it's fun.
Oh, yeah.
And then we do bluegill fishing. Me and Jim do bluegill fishing out in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Like the kids out. They love catching bluegills out on the ice and crappies. And
Yeah, the first time Al took me out to his honey hole for bluegills, I took my 2 grandsons with, and they caught 60 bluegills, and guess who cleaned them?
Grandpa.
Grandpa had a lot of work after that day.
Yeah, I kind of got it made on that. My grandsons love cleaning fish. I'll clean them, Grandpa. Okay, take them home and clean them. Bring them back when they're fried.
Oh, yeah.
But, we went down to Lenny's. Did we go down there this year, Jim? Yeah, we went down there this year.
You were down there more than me. I was down. We stopped for that half day coming back from Dubuque.
Okay.
When we were down to detecting the Heartland hunt.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was pretty fun down there detecting with Lenny. I mean, Len that called, I talked to Len yesterday. He asked if I was coming down. He says, warm down there. Funny how 400 miles can be that much of a difference,
Yeah.
But it's a big difference.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to make it out to the East Coast this year. Well, not this year, but in spring,
Yeah, come up by me or Pete Sorrell, or in between. We'll take you some places.
Oh, we'd love it.
You guys get a whole bunch of different stuff that we don't get here. There's large scents are almost unheard of around here.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I went there a few years ago, and I went out with Doug Bowden. I don't know if you know him.
Yep.
Big metal detector. Yep. Doug took us out, and he figured, I was a mountain man from northern Minnesota. We can go way out in the woods and get lost. But we went way out in the woods and we got lost. He goes, where are we, Al? I said, I don't know. It's in your area. Well, it probably took us 2.5 hours to get out.
Oh, no.
We didn't know where we were. But we had a good time. Found a lot of good stuff out there and a lot of rock piles, ledges of rocks. I couldn't believe how many were out. But he got lucky that day. He found a coin that was 16-something. He found another one that was 17-something.
Great.
I was finding barbers. It had to have been from the loggers, not that long ago, I lost all those. But I still want a big topper really bad. Doug's good at getting them. He's luckier than heck. Well, he gets a lot of them every year.
Yeah, Grant gets a lot of them.
I got quite a few this year.
You got quite a few, huh?
Yeah. So, and where I'm at, too, it's not just the King Georges. You can have the state coppers, too, like New Jersey coppers, Connecticut's. There's others, too, but I haven't found them. But there's quite a bit of different variety. Problem is, most of them, you can't identify them because they're just so beat up from the fertilizers and the conditions that they're just blank. I found one this past Saturday that no idea what it is. And I'll never know. Still fun to find.
So when the lakes open back up to you, this be springtime or will it be April or May? When's the lakes usually open up to you?
Early May, usually. Early May where I live. Little earlier where Al lives.
Well, that'll be here before you know it, so not too long.
Yeah. I got a lot of finds that I've collected over the years that I haven't cleaned up or done anything with, so I ordered a case of display trays and stuff, so that should keep me a little busy this winter, cleaning things up and putting them in displays. And
Nice.
like to do a little research.
one of my questions for you guys were going to be, you mentioned Florida. Do you have any travel plans for 2021? Any places that you definitely want to go or hope to go?
Well, we plan on going to Digstock, or I think that's going to, if it goes through next year,
Mm-hmm.
And probably
I want to hit some more hunts. We only got the one this year. Al and I and Terry have talked, and we plan on making it an annual event that we go down and detect with him in the river, and he comes up and detects with us in the lake.
Well, I talked to him the other day, and he said he wants to make it a few times this summer to come up there. Yeah. Yeah, so that'll be good. So we had a good time, all three of us in the water like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that sounds pretty fun.
You guys will have to come to Minnesota someday and get wet.
Yeah, I'd love that. Find some old copper.
Oh, yeah, after the horror stories y'all telling us, we got to wear a wetsuit and like a headgear and everything else.
Well, you don't have to, You might be one of the lucky lottery winners that's not allergic to duckworm or swimmer's itch.
A lot of this stuff is in late fall, It's when you get it late fall, it seems like, mainly. When it gets really, really hot, and you start getting all that algae in the water, it seems like that's when you get swimmer's itch a lot. I don't know why, but early in the season, you don't get it.
A clue as to where swimmer's itch is, if you see a lot of snail shells and ducks, if there's ducks swimming around. Because what it is, they call it duckworm, is what it is. It's a little parasite type thing, and its life cycle, it cycles through the ducks and the snails, and the ducks drop it out after they eat it in whatever they're eating, and it goes through the snails, and it lays its eggs in the duck, and it's just kind of a life cycle thing. So when it gets on a human being, it bores into you, but it dies right away because you're not a duck. And
Jim is trying to scare everybody else away, so there's more gold for him.
Yeah.
So that's what it is duckworm. Look it up on Google or Wikipedia. That's what the doctor did for me. He says, here. He printed it out.
Yeah, I think that's working. I think that'll keep people away and secure your file.
Well, I'm serious. These things happen, and it could be pretty rough on some people. I didn't enjoy them, I know.
Wear a full wetsuit, you don't catch nothing. I mean, you're
right. Yeah. The time I went to the emergency room with the swimmer's itch or the duckworm bites, I only had a shorty on, and from the wetsuit down to my ankles, there was like 200 bites on each leg, and that was the only place I was bit.
Yeah, I think I'll stick to dry land. Thanks.
Yeah, leeches, duckworms, and Gaillardia. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Don't let that scare you off, though. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And now you know what to look for.
Is all that is it worth the rings and the gold and the silver?
Absolutely.
And it's a lot easier on your body being in the water than being on land, because there's no getting down on your knees, no bending over. It makes it a lot easier on your body.
And if you're like me and you have a bad back, the wetsuit is actually like a compression, and then it's buoyant too. So when you get out in a little deeper water, it takes weight off you. You float a little bit, so it actually is easier.
All day long, guys. I'm 60 years old, Al. I hear this all the time when we're out there. I'm 60 years old.
You know what they used to...
I'm glad I'm young yet, Jim.
I'll tell you guys, you know what I used to be known for? When we just land hunted, when we were land hunting a lot?
What was that?
I would never go home till it got dark.
Oh,
so whenever they went with me, it was like, well, we'd be here till dark.
Yeah.
I'd give up before you would.
I just kept telling them guys, when you get to be 60, I'll slow down so you can keep up.
Well, Terry's older than that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Terry's,
80?
He'll be 80.
Yeah, and he's running pretty
he
strong.
He lasted all day long with us in the river and the water.
Yeah.
He was sore, but he made it every day, all day long.
Oh, yeah.
8-10 hours.
And for the record, I'm the older beach boy. I'm 64. Allan's just a little young pup yet.
That's right. Jim's new saying is his new saying to everybody when he introduces us to somebody. He goes, "Yeah, I'm the older beach boy, and this is Allan, the short beach boy." He burns me on that one all the time.
Well, do you see that one video? The one video we made with the ring recovery down in Iowa? It was in like 6-7 feet of water, and he looked at me and says, "You're taller. You're going in, Jim."
Yeah, that was a rough one.
Oh, yeah.
That was a rough one. But we got some good plans all made up for next year, guys. I mean, we got some places that are supposed to have never been detected out on some islands, and we're hoping to do some good scoring next year. So,
all right,
and we're hoping to go down to Terry's.
Yeah.
Probably late spring, maybe. Before he comes back, it'd be nice to go down there and do a little detecting with him.
Well, that sounds like a lot of great stuff to look forward to, and I hope we can have y'all back on here again so we can hear about all that. And we look forward to seeing Minnesota Beach Boys videos coming out. And everybody get on YouTube and check out the Minnesota Beach Boys. Where can they find you? They're just on XP Team USA. Y'all got your own channel also, right?
Yeah, we're just starting to migrate some of our older videos over to it too, so there's more content on there. Right now there's just some from this summer.
Right.
Excellent. Yeah, and you'll see all the rings that you heard them talking about. You'll see a lot of them get pulled out in their videos. Definitely go check it out.
Yeah, one of the 12 deises of Christmas, mine is about rings and a pile of rings. So I'll kind of give that hint when it comes out this weekend.
All right. Yeah, we talked about the 12 days of Christmas in the beginning. So before we had you guys on. So everyone should be aware and checking out our Facebook page for that. So I'm excited to see that.
A lot of nice prizes, boy.
Very nice.
Yeah, sounds pretty cool. And while you're watching their videos, be watching and see if they're itching or not. And
Jim will be itching.
Yeah. All right. Well, it was great talking to y'all, and we'd love to hear back from y'all and talk to y'all again after some more of your adventures and find out what's going on in the future.
Yeah.
All right.
Guys, well, till the next one.
Till the next one. Stay safe.
Yep.
Take care, guys. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right. See ya.
Check us out online at xpteamusagrant.com. This segment is brought to you by Omega Mill Pouches, the official digging pouch of XP Team USA. If you're looking for a rugged, hunt-tested, washable pouch, look no further than Omega Mill. Get on eBay and search Omega Mill Pouches. That's OMEGAMILL.
All right, we're back, and that was the Minnesota Beach Boys. Great guys. Love talking to them.
Yeah, and before we talked to them, I was really anxious to get my dais into the water, but I don't know. Kind of like, maybe I'll stick to the dry land. I don't know if I want to ingest any duck poop or get a skin rash or anything like that.
Right. I mean, here in Oklahoma, sometimes in the summer, people come out with like skin diseases and stuff from going in the lakes, and people have died even from it,
Yeah, I've heard about that. Not something I'd want to put myself at risk for. But like they said, though, out of how many years they've been detecting, they've only had an incident 4 times. So
yeah, it's rare, and there's precautions to take, as I said. And it'd be fun to do. I know there's a lot of rings to be found. There's a guy I know here. He does primary lake hunting. And this guy, he'll come to the club with cases of rings he shows off all the time. This guy's always finding rings. He's probably got a room full of them things.
Wow. Yeah, that's definitely the place to find that stuff. So, maybe 2021 I'll be brave and I'll get in there.
Yeah. My first gold ring was in the lake. So,
yeah. There you go.
All right. Also, don't forget about the 12 days of Christmas going on. Today, Sonia is announcing her winner, and the new contest there's a new contest being announced Thursday or today?
So Sonia is going to announce her winner tonight, and then tomorrow there'll be an all-new contest that we'll announce the winner for on Sunday. So it's that every other day rotation. So make sure you stop by the XP Team USA Facebook page to keep up to date on all the contests.
All right, yeah. And don't forget to go to XP Team USA on YouTube. Check us out. Check out Grant Hansen's YouTube videos. He's got some pretty good ones. And let's go ahead and announce our winner for our contest for the Relic Elite Omega Mill pouch. It's a black camo, very nice, well-made pouch.
Yeah, and congratulations to the winner. I've got all the names in front of me, so I'm going to do a random number generator right now. Okay, and it came up as number 11, and that person is Mike Holberton. Mike, congratulations.
Congratulations, Mike. I tell you what, get a hold of Grant Hansen or me on Facebook or email. You can email Grant Hansen at xpteamusagrant@gmail.com or email me at xpteamusadigindave@gmail.com or get a hold of us on Facebook and give us your address and information, and we'll get that sent out to you as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and congratulations and huge thanks to Steve Blankenship at Omega Mill for making this possible.
Right, and I will add our email links to this podcast, so if you want to, you could just look on the description and see the email, copy it, and paste it onto your email and send us an email. All right, and just to let everybody know, December 18th would be our next show, but we are going to take that day off. We're going to take the rest of the year off, and in fact, we will take New Year's Day off also. So the next show will be January 15th. So come back and join us January 15th, and we will have something to give away on that day too.
Yeah, we're going to start off 2021 in a really good way. So I wish everybody happy holidays, happy New Year, and we'll see you next year.
All right. Yeah, we'll see you.
Get that permission, put the coil to the soil, and we'll catch you next time right here on the Metal Detecting Podcast. Brought to you by XP Metal Detectors.